You're listening to Speak English with Chat.
On Chat English.
Welcome back to Chat English, where we help you speak the way people actually talk. Today, we aren't just talking about conversation skills. We are going to run a simulation to fix your biggest fear. Picture this. You are at dinner. It is Friday night. Your friend stops talking. It is your turn to speak, but your mind goes blank. The silence gets louder. You hear the clock ticking. You look at your plate. You panic.
I remember when I first moved to Spain, I went on a date with a local girl, and about 10 minutes in, we hit this wall of silence. I just nervously drank my water until the glass was empty because I was too terrified to say the wrong thing.
If that is you, stay tuned. By the end of this episode, you will have the echo tool to keep any conversation flowing without stress. You know, Dan, that feeling of running out of things to say is probably the #1 reason our listeners avoid speaking English. It's not that they don't know the words, it's the fear of the silence.
Exactly, it's that pressure. You feel like you have to be a performer, entertaining the other person. And when the conversation dies, you blame your English level. But actually, even native speakers struggle with this.
That is such a good point. Silence happens to everyone, but native speakers have these little tricks to bridge the gap. They don't panic, they just use a tool.
Right, and today we are going to give you those tools. But first, I think we need to feel the pain a little bit. Alice, are you ready to act out a really bad conversation?
Oh, I am ready. Let's do it. Let's show everyone what a dead conversation sounds like.
Okay, so imagine we are colleagues. We just met in the office kitchen. You start.
Hey Dan, how was your weekend?
It was good, thanks.
Did you do anything special?
Not really, just relaxed. You?
Same, just stayed home.
Nice.
Okay, stop. That was painful.
It was physically painful to do that. I felt my heart rate going up just pretending.
But Dan, that's exactly how so many conversations go. It's the interview mode. Question, answer, and then death.
Exactly, we call that a dead end. I gave you short answers. It was good. Not really. I gave you nothing to work with. I didn't give you a hook.
Right, and because I didn't have a hook, I panicked. I just asked another generic question. Did you do anything special? And when we ran out of generic questions, the conversation died.
So the problem there wasn't your grammar. Your grammar was perfect. The problem was that we were treating the conversation like a tennis match where we just hit the ball once and stopped. We need to learn how to keep the rally going.
Exactly. And the tool we are going to teach today is called the echo and ask technique. It's the secret weapon for anyone who hates silence.
I love this technique. It's so lazy, but in the best possible way. It takes all the pressure off you to be creative.
So how does it work? Break it down for us.
Okay, the echo is simple. You listen to the last few words your partner said, and you repeat them back with a rising intonation, like a question.
That sounds too simple. Does it really work?
It works like magic, because when you echo someone, it signals to the brain, I am listening, and I want to hear more about that specific thing. It forces them to expand.
Okay, let's try the role play again. Same scenario, office kitchen, but this time I'm going to use the echo technique. Let's do it. Hey Dan, how was your weekend?
It was good, thanks.
It was good?
Yeah, well, actually, it was a bit busy. I went to that new Italian place downtown.
The Italian place?
Yeah, Luigi's. The pasta was amazing, but the service was terrible. We waited an hour for a table. An hour for a table? I know, I was starving. We almost left and went to the burger joint next door.
Stop. Dan, do you see what happened?
I literally could not stop talking. You barely said 3 words, but you pulled the entire story out of me.
I just repeated what you said. It was good, the Italian place, an hour for a table, and suddenly we're deep in a conversation about bad service and burgers.
Exactly, and notice the grammar there. You didn't build complex sentences. You just took my noun phrases, Italian place, an hour, and turned them into questions. It's incredibly natural. Native speakers do this constantly.
And it felt so much better for me too. I didn't have to think of a new topic. I just rode the wave of what you were saying.
That is a great idiom, rode the wave. It means you let the momentum of the other person carry you. You don't have to paddle, you just steer.
So echoing is the first step, but sometimes an echo isn't enough, right? Sometimes you need to pivot the conversation to something else.
Right. An echo keeps you on the same topic, but what if the topic is boring? Or what if there is a lull?
A lull. That is a great word. Lull.
Yes, a lull in the conversation. It is that dip in energy, that quiet moment where neither person is speaking. It's not necessarily awkward yet, but it is dangerous. It could become awkward.
So when we hit a lull, we need a bridge phrase.
Exactly. A bridge phrase is a connector that takes something small they said and uses it to build a bridge to a new topic.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. The most common one is speaking of.
Oh, I use that all the time. Speaking of food, have you tried the new cafe?
Exactly. It creates a smooth transition. Even if the connection is really weak, speaking of makes it sound logical.
Let's try that. Let's go back to our role play. You mentioned the burger joint. Let's say I don't want to talk about burgers. I want to talk about our colleague, Sarah, who is a vegetarian.
Okay, so I say, we almost left and went to the burger joint next door.
Speaking of burgers, did you know Sarah is a vegetarian now?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
See? Smooth.
Very smooth. And another great one is that reminds me of.
That reminds me of. I love this one because it allows you to share a personal story without sounding selfish.
Exactly. If I say, I waited an hour for a table, and you just say, I went to Paris last year, it sounds weird. It sounds like you are ignoring me.
Right. It sounds like I am just waiting for my turn to speak.
But if you say, waiting an hour? Wow, that reminds me of this time I was in Paris and we waited 3 hours for a crepe. Suddenly, it's a shared experience. You connected your story to mine.
It validates the other person. It says, your story is so interesting that it triggered a memory in my brain.
Exactly. And that is the key to charisma. People think charisma is about being funny or smart, but actually, charisma is making the other person feel heard.
That is so true. I think we should practice this. We have talked about the theory, echoing, and bridge phrases, but our listeners need to feel it in their mouths.
I agree. We need to activate this. Passively listening is great, but until you speak it, you don't own it.
So we are going to do a pause and reply session.
Here's how it works. I'm going to say a sentence. I want you, listening right now, to echo me. Remember, take the last keyword I said and repeat it as a question with rising intonation.
We will pause for a few seconds to let you speak, and then I will give you the best answer.
Ready? Here's the first one. I say, I'm feeling really exhausted today.
Exhausted?
Exactly, exhausted. Let's try another one. I say, my boss is making us work on Saturday.
On Saturday?
Perfect. You see how easy that is? You don't need to ask why is he doing that or is it legal? Just on Saturday is enough to keep me complaining for 10 minutes.
Let's try a bridge phrase. This time I want you to use speaking of to change the topic.
Okay, I will give you a prompt about movies. I want you to bridge to TV shows.
Got it. Prompt. I saw that new Marvel movie last night.
Use speaking of to switch to TV shows. Go.
Speaking of movies, have you seen that new show on Netflix?
Boom. Smooth transition. You acknowledged my movie, but you took control of the conversation.
And you know, this brings up something interesting about mindset. We often feel like we are stealing the conversation if we change the topic.
I hear this from students all the time. They think it's rude to interrupt or pivot, but actually, a conversation is a dance. If you just stand there and let me lead the whole time, I get tired.
That is such a good analogy. If I am doing all the talking, I start to feel self-conscious. I start thinking, oh no, I am boring them. Why aren't they saying anything?
Exactly. When you use a bridge phrase or an echo, you're actually helping me. You're taking the weight of the conversation for a second. You're saying, I got this. Let's go over here.
So by being active, you are actually being polite. Precisely. You are co-creating the moment. Now, before we go deeper into the psychology of listening, I want to take a quick second to remind you, if you are enjoying these practical tips, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We release episodes like this every week to help you build that natural English confidence.
And hitting the bell means you won't miss the next simulation. We have some good ones coming up.
Okay, back to the toolkit.
We have echoing and we have bridge phrases. But what about when you really don't understand what the person said? Ah, the clarity check. This is crucial because sometimes the silence happens because you are confused, right?
Right. Someone mumbles or uses a slang word and you freeze. You don't want to admit you didn't catch it.
So you just smile and nod. The nod of doom.
The nod of doom. We have all done it. And then they ask you a question and realize you have no idea what is going on.
Exactly. So we need a phrase that breaks that specific silence. My favorite is simple. Sorry, I missed that last part.
I missed that last part. That is great because it doesn't mean my English is bad. It just means I didn't hear you.
Exactly. It protects your ego. Even native speakers say this when they aren't paying attention. Sorry, I missed that.
Another one I like is, wait, run that by me again?
Run that by me again. That is very natural. It sounds like you are engaged, you are interested, you just need a replay.
Let's practice that one. I am going to say something very fast and mumbling. I want our listeners to use run that by me again.
Okay, go for it. Mumble away.
So I was going to the store and I saw this huge bear.
Pause. Wait, run that by me again?
Perfect. If you said that to me, I would immediately slow down and enunciate. I said I saw a huge bear.
And suddenly the conversation is alive again. You fixed the broken connection.
You know, Dan, all of these tools, echoing, bridging, clarity checks, they all have one thing in common.
What is that?
They require you to listen, really listen. Not just listen to translate in your head, but listen to the sound, the emotion, the keywords.
That is the deepest secret of fluency. Most learners are listening to reply. They are sitting there, sweating, thinking about their grammar, thinking about their next sentence.
And because they are thinking about their next sentence, they miss what is being said right now.
Exactly. But if you trust the echo technique, you don't need to plan. You can relax. You can focus 100% on the other person because you know that no matter what they say, you can just echo the last word.
It is like a safety net.
It is a massive safety net. And when you relax, your ears open up. You actually understand more because your brain isn't busy panicking.
I want to talk about one more specific situation where silence kills us, the group conversation.
Oh, the boss battle. One-on-one is hard, but a group of 3 or 4 native speakers, that is terrifying.
Everyone is talking over each other. The pace is fast, and you are just sitting there, turning your head like you are watching tennis.
And you feel yourself shrinking. You become the quiet one in the corner.
How do we use our tools there?
The echo is actually perfect for groups, but you have to use it as an entry ticket.
An entry ticket. What do you mean?
In a fast group conversation, it's hard to start a new sentence, but it's easy to echo someone else. If someone says the meeting was a disaster, you can just jump in with a disaster.
And that buys you the floor.
Exactly. Everyone looks at you. You have the attention now. And because you echoed, you're on the same wavelength as the speaker. You aren't interrupting, you are supporting.
And then, once you have the floor, you can use a bridge phrase. A disaster? Speaking of disasters, did you see the email from HR?
Boom, you are in. You went from the quiet observer to the conversation leader in 2 seconds just by using an echo.
It is really about confidence, isn't it? These tools give you the permission to speak.
They do. They lower the barrier to entry. You don't need a perfect thesis statement to open your mouth. You just need a word.
I want to share a quick story about a student of mine, Paulo. He was an advanced engineer, very smart, but very quiet. He felt like his English wasn't intellectual enough for his colleagues.
I see that a lot. Smart professionals who feel like children in English.
Exactly. So I taught him the echo technique, and he came back a week later, beaming. He said, Alice, I had a 20-minute conversation with the VP of engineering.
Wow, 20 minutes?
He said, I barely said anything. I just kept saying, the turbine? The pressure valve? Really? And he just kept talking and talking.
And I bet the VP thought Paulo was a brilliant conversationalist.
He did. He told Paulo's boss that Paulo was very insightful.
That is the power of active listening. When you let people talk about what they love, they think you are a genius.
So Paulo didn't need more vocabulary lists. He didn't need more grammar drills. He just needed to know how to keep the ball in the air.
Exactly. He needed the discipline to listen and the tool to respond.
Let's do a quick recap of the vocabulary we used today, because we slipped in some good ones.
We did. We talked about a lull.
A lull is that quiet, low-energy pause in a conversation. There was a lull in the conversation.
We talked about chiming in.
To chime in. That means to join a conversation, usually to add an opinion or a detail. I wanted to chime in, but they were talking too fast.
It is a nice, polite way to say interrupt. Do you mind if I chime in here?
We also used piggyback.
To piggyback off something. This is great for meetings. It means to build on someone else's idea. I want to piggyback off what Alice said.
It is very visual. You are jumping on the back of their idea and taking it further.
And finally, we talked about an icebreaker.
An icebreaker is a question or topic used to relieve tension and start a conversation. We played an icebreaker game to meet the new team.
Weather is the classic British icebreaker. Bit rainy today, isn't it?
Speaking of icebreakers, we have a challenge for you today.
We do. We want you to use these tools in the real world, but we know it can be scary to try it on a stranger immediately.
So we want you to practice with us in the comments.
We are going to start a conversation thread. I am going to give you a topic, and I want you to use a bridge phrase to pivot it.
Here is the topic. I love traveling in the summer, but it is so expensive.
That is the statement. I love traveling in the summer, but it is so expensive.
In the comments, I want you to reply. You can echo, expensive, or you can bridge, speaking of summer.
Or that reminds me of.
Exactly. Use one of the tools. Don't just say, yes, I agree. Practice the pivot.
We will be reading through them and replying to the best ones. It is a safe space to practice.
And remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to avoid the lull.
Keep the ball moving. Keep the rally going.
You have the tools now. You have the echo, you have the bridge, you have the clarity check. You don't need to fear the silence anymore.
The silence is just a signal to use a tool. That is all it is.
Thanks for joining us for this simulation. It was fun to break down the mechanics of a chat.
It really was. I hope you guys feel a little lighter, a little more ready for that next dinner party.
Keep practicing, keep echoing, and we will see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.